Hello, guys. It is still day 3, and we are now minus 1 person, and we are now getting the one and only very, very good friend, Mr. Mark Bennett, in the hot seat.
What up? What up?
He just
Welcome
moved
to
over.
Nashville.
Yes, thank you. I love coming back here. When I was here 9 years ago, I remember the vibes. I was telling Bryson, dude, like when I came in here and we left the airport and we got into the city, I remember the smell of this place when I was here last time.
It's horrible, right?
It's
I'm
very
kidding,
unique.
I'm
No.
kidding. I'm kidding.
It's very unique because I was like, when we got in here, I was like, man, why do I have this sense of smell all of a sudden of like 9 years ago?
There's no. It's not like being in LA. You don't get all the pollution. You also ain't getting the seawater. You know what I mean? Being on the coast,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I love it here, man. I love, all the trees, the woods. I mean, especially like right now is like the worst time of year to go like drive around scenic wise. But like soon as the spring hits and everything turns green, man, it's just amazing how dense the woods are here. I love spending time in the outdoors. And Tennessee is just one of the most beautiful places in the nation. I absolutely love it here.
Real beauty. Where did you grow up, like originally?
So I grew up in San Jose, California. I grew up out there, and I've been out in Nashville now. Started in year 11. Year 11 out here.
A decade. But when you moved out here, you didn't have your daughter yet.
No.
Yeah.
No. We moved out here. Actually, Ray Lazier and I was working with Corn at the time, and it was kind of like, man, I'm going to go this way. Like, you should check it out. Okay, well, I'll check it out, but are you really going to go? If you're going to go, then I'll go. All right, but you got to go. Like, all right, cool. So we kind of made the jump in 2014 together, and I think he moved in like June or July, and I was right behind him in November, and we've been out here ever since, and it's Tennessee's home.
Yeah.
Tennessee's home, and then a few years after we moved in, we had my little girl, and life's beautiful, man. I love it out here.
I love that. Yeah, talk about that, like kind of having that family life out here and that balance. Like I feel like you've been doing that really well lately.
I tell you what, in the beginning it was tough, man. I was working for Shinedown with Barry Kirch. I was his drum tech, and we had her. Then a little while later, fast forward like 6 months or so, we go into production rehearsals and we go out on the road, and those guys tour a lot and they put on a great show, but those guys work really, really hard. And being away started to really get to me, and watching my daughter on FaceTime really started to kind of mess with like my mental state out there. And being on the road's tough. There's just daily things that you got to kind of push through, and personalities you have to deal with and manage. And it got to a point where I was like, I need to be home. Like I can't do this right now. And ended up coming home and got a job working with KHS America, which was amazing. Assistant product manager for Mapex, and then ended up rolling into the artist relations role. But the greatest part about it was I got to be home for those first developmental years with my daughter, and got to be there every day and take her to Taekwondo and take her to soccer games and everything else. And it was great, and got to solidify the bond between us and our relationship, which was great. And then got to a point where the touring opportunity came back around and made the transition back out on the road. And now she understands like what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with. And she gets to come out and, we homeschool her. So anytime I have multiple days off in a particular city, we'll bring her out. And the fun thing is like now when we got those days off and I'm putzing around, we turned it into an educational thing. And so, we had a couple of days off in Deadwood. So we went to go to Mount Rushmore. And then we went to, Devil's Tower, which was the first national monument that was ever established in the United States. And, so we just, National Park. But anyways, we take all these opportunities of me traveling and being away and on the road, and now get to make it an educational thing for her. So not only does she get to see the backside of the industry, you know what I mean, and meet all of these, all of her uncles are all roadies and musicians and stuff like that. But now we're getting to see the world and take that opportunity of the travel and show her more than just her little town.
I love that. Yeah, because it's really unique to be homeschooled and then to be able to go out on the road and experience it in the real world. And it's not necessarily homeschool anymore. Yep. So you really get to actually hit the road, you know, so to speak. And how often do you do that? Like, is it?
I try to at least get her out at least once on a tour.
Yeah.
If I get the opportunity to do twice, most tours it's we hit it pretty hard. It's very rare we get multiple days off in the city.
Right.
It's only happened just a couple of times. We had a few days off when I was out with Stained in Deadwood. We had a couple of days off in Denver this past year with Korn, and we got some family out there. So they actually were out for like a week and a half. They met up with family and everything like that. And my favorite part about that trip was randomly they just did a 5K.
Yeah.
And we're not like a 5K family. We don't go out and like run or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they our cousin out there does though. So they're like, hey, do you want to do this? And I'm like, sure. The 5K went up to Red Rocks.
Ooh.
So I get this picture of my daughter with her thing, and although they didn't finish early enough, she didn't get a medal, but somebody saw her and they gave her their medal. So I get this picture of my daughter with her number. She's got the official shirt on and she's wearing this medal.
That's sweet, man.
And she's standing up in the top of Red Rocks. So the amphitheater's behind her. And I was so proud of her for this amazing accomplishment that she just did.
Yeah.
And I was like also so jealous because that's the one venue I've never been to. I've never been to Red Rocks, nor have I been to the Gorge. And those are like the two on my punch list to hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I told her once I finally made it to Denver for my couple of days off there, I was like, you beat Daddy to Red Rocks. She's like, what? I'm like, I've never been there. I've always wanted to do a show there. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's such a pain in the ass, blah, 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 blah. It's so hard to do. But I'm like, yeah, there's hard days, easy days, whatever. But it's like when you get to places like that, they're special. You know what I mean? It's a different show. It's a different thing. So I was like, you beat me there.
That's awesome,
You
dude.
beat me there.
Kind of one of those full circle moments. We've been having a lot of people say that Red Rocks is like their bucket list. It is for me. I mean, that would be something I would love to just see a show there.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I saw
absolutely.
the Gojira did on that. Like did you see that the video Gojira? I think they filmed it of them playing at Red Rocks.
Oh wow.
And it was unreal, dude. I was like, man, like what a production, you know. They just did the Olympics and all that.
We just did that whole U.S. run with them last year, and it was amazing. Those guys every night.
I don't know where I was at on that run, but I know I missed it, and I wanted to check it out for sure because I had saw them with Mastodon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that was just
Another incredible band. We were playing with them in Australia, and I was working, setting up while they were going on the other side of the curtain. So it was cool being right there, listening to them throw down every single day. Those guys are great, man.
Yeah. I remember early days, man. This was like Way of All Flesh days when that first record came out. Not their first record, but when that early album from them came out, and they were playing like, I don't know, maybe 500-800 cap venues, something to that extent. And I met up with Mario, and it had to have been, I can't remember, man, 2016, 2017 days. So Stroy was around, and I had a tea, and I met him backstage, and I gave it to him, and just the nicest dude. Back then, his English was not good at all. Barely had it down, because I think that was the first time they were really coming to the States.
Yeah.
And you see him now, and it's like, almost 10 years later, and they're over here at the Olympics, and they're doing these things, and it's just like one of those bands where they put in the work.
They do, and they're the sweetest people, man. They really are, and they'd have their daughters out on the road, and it's so great to watch these guys come out and just slay a show, and then you see them with their families and everything like that. They switch into dad mode and everything, and it's just it's awesome. They were so great to spend time with every single day, man. They're killer people.
Man, touch on that. What do you think how did you deal with that? Like the mental factor of like being on the road all the time and then knowing that you have this daughter who, needs her dad all the time.
Man, I tell you what, at first, like I said, it was tough. I was definitely having a hard time with it. Now it's easy. It's easy to maintain our relationship because our relationship's been established. Mm-hmm. So FaceTiming does make it a lot easier. Especially since she knows what I'm doing, right? Especially, both the two bands that I work with primarily right now, Stained and Korn, Ray and Sal, that's like Uncle Ray and Uncle Sal, you know what I mean? Yeah. And she knows all the crew guys, and, when she comes out, like, on Stained and everything, she helps me load in, because our warehouse is over here, so she'll come with me and help push cases to the truck and hang out with all the dudes, and she understands what's going on. She gets it, and she's been on, like, she's come to shows. We call it the Redneck Red Rocks over here in Franklin, Tennessee. But it's a cool little venue over here, and I had her coming in. It's like, all right, cool. Here's the XLRs for the playback rig. The number on each one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you go. Go ahead and plug them all in, and then it's like, all right. I taught her how to run the computer, so she's running the line check programs and stuff like that. I'm like, you hear the numbers in the PA, that corresponds to what you just plugged in on the back. So this is how this all goes together, and
that's cool, dude.
You know what I mean? So like, everything I try to do with her is I try to make everything an educational moment, because life is right.
Always,
you know what I mean?
right, yeah.
But especially now being a dad and taking her education into, you know, it's our responsibility now to educate her, and I try to make anything and everything that we do an educational moment. And so it's like, all right, cool. I'm going to teach you how to patch a playback rig. I'm going to teach you like audio signal flow. So I've got, you know, at the time she was 6, and I'm like, all right, cool. So this goes to here, to that guy there, and these things, turn it up, make it loud, and press that button, watch what happens. And, you know, then
so
we got
cool,
like our
dude.
set carp guys. They're like, all right, cool. We got to do the backdrop now. We're going to press this button. This thing's going to drop. You ready? And, you know, they give her the countdown and call it. She's got her own radio on stage and everything. So, you know, they call her and give her the thing, and bang, she's hitting the backdrop. And, you know, so the guys love having her out, and it's a lot of fun. Anytime anybody brings their kids out, it's great, because we're all family people. I wish we could have, you know, 2 things. I wish our families could be out more often. I wish we could have pets on the road more often. Like, anytime there's a tour dog, like, it just, anytime there's dogs at the venue or whatever, it just makes the day so much better. Just hang out with you know, somebody's pet and just chill for a minute and just like decompress from the stress of the day for a second. And it's just, you know, I wish we could have our families and our pets out with us.
100%, dude. Like, one of the things I've kind of made a note on is, like, I'll check in with some family, but when I call while I'm out here, I'm like, how's Charlie? Like, my dog Charlie.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, I cannot believe, like, how much a support system that is in itself, just having your dog there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, it's like 3, 4 a.m., like, packing destroy drum orders, and like Charlie's like right there, like with me, like hanging, and I'm just like, dude, to me, being out here, it's normal for me to just call and be like, hey, how's Charlie doing? Like, what's going on? Because in those moments and those like isolated times, I'm just like, man, like, this is rough, and I can just stop and just be like, you know, play with Charlie and just hang out for a little bit and like let my mind just go away from all that other stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think that's so funny though, man. Like, bringing her on the road and stuff. Would you ever, like, if she was like, you know what, Dad, I think I'm going to just do this. I want to do this full time like you. Like, I want to be a tech, or I want to be like playback, or I want to run lights, or I want to, you know, be front of house. Like, what would you say to that?
I'm all for whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
I really am. Like, right now she's getting into music theater, which is, I think, is fantastic. My wife, extremely talented. She was in ballet for the longest time, all the way through like Joffrey and everything. She was a pop star herself. She's toured all over Europe and South America as a vocalist, you know, with her own stuff. You know, going back even beyond that, my wife's dad was the organist for the Chicago Cubs, you know, and they had a huge piano school in Chicago. He was the Chicago piano man back in the day.
What the heck?
Absolutely incredible. So she comes from a long line. I mean, even like, I just recently found out that my grandfather on my father's side, out of Texas, was like this huge bluegrass guy, and was overseas in the military, playing there, then made his way this way. Actually ended up in Nashville. Never got an opportunity to play at the Ryman at the Grand Ole Opry, but actually had, you know, went and actually sat and watched some shows. But he was active touring, you know, bluegrass player. And so she's got music and performing in her blood, which is great. And she's really gotten into music theater right now. I love the community. I love the organizations that we have down in Murray County, and the teachers, the theaters, it's great. And I love the fact that she gets to connect with those people. And she, like, I remember the first day she went to her first rehearsal, I, you know, picked her up, and I'm like, how was it? And she goes, it was amazing. I love this. And it was like seeing that pure passion and energy of like, I think I found my thing. And I'm like, awesome. And, you know, she's getting ready to audition for Sound of Music, and she's super pumped about it, you know, and I love it. So whatever she wants to do, I don't care if she follows in my footsteps or in my wife's footsteps. I don't care what she ends up doing. As long as she's passionate about it, I will help make sure that, she has whatever it is that she needs to make that happen.
I love that. I love that. And it's really cool to see that here, that y'all have like a support system in the music sector for kids.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't see that everywhere.
I tell you what, man, across the board, we can just say performing arts just in general, whether it's, concert bands or marching bands or orchestral, or let's say dance or whatever it is, cheer, any sort of performing arts. There's just not enough support in that world across the United States. There needs to be more. Like, I came from marching band and I made my way into marching DCI, and that really molded me. Like, I wasn't educated for a small amount of time, but I didn't want to make a career out of it. Some people, like, they go that pathway and that's what they want to do. But those activities help mold you and give you the structure to be a better person in society and make you learn how to be successful and overcome adversity. And so I think, it's important that we continue to fund and support and have these programs for kids. And same thing with athletics and sports and stuff like that. Like, it really teaches kids how to work hard and overcome and be successful later in life, whether you become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. You get that foundation from these activities. And I love the fact that we do have here in Tennessee some really good places and good activities for kids to go, and yeah, we need more of it though.
Absolutely. Like, I would think that what I found out recently actually was that there is a program out there called Hungry for Music, which helps kids that can't afford band instruments, as well as band programs in schools that can't afford to provide instruments for their kids. So recently through Destroy Drum, we did like a Matt Griner signature tee, and him and I were chopping it up, and I was like, look, like, we love to like fund different programs, different organizations. We just love doing these kinds of things. He's like, all for it. So I went out and found this organization. I was like, what do you think about this? He's like, I love it. I was like, perfect. And then we ended up raising some proceeds for them, and I looked into their program, and I was like, you know what? I just want like all our faith-based tees to have proceeds donated to that organization.
That's amazing.
For the life of Destroy. Like,
First of all, let's go back. Matt, what an amazing dude. Like, I absolutely love, like, I had an opportunity to hang out with him at a PAS event when I was still with Mapex and Sonar. And we spent several days together. It was Matt, Aaron Spears, and Dave Weckl. That was the panel. And so we just got to hang out with those guys. And all three of them, amazing. I miss Aaron very much, man. He was an incredible human. But, like, Matt, dude, what a cool dude. Like, he's farming. Yeah. Like, he's out literally driving a tractor. Yeah. And then he's like, all right, cool, I'll be back. I'm going to go rip some shows real quick. And then he's just out there doing his thing. And just super humble, down to earth. I love that guy, man. I loved that week up in Indy with him, man. It was so much fun. That's such an awesome guy. So when I saw that shirt, I was like, dude, what a better, couldn't have picked a better person for it.
I think for as long as I have known of him, and this has to date back to like maybe 2009 when I first heard his music. I was like a sophomore, junior in high school, and I just remember listening to that CD. I had a buddy of mine who put me on to August Burns Red, and I was like, okay, I had never really gotten into that music at all. I was more into like the pop punk stuff, and when I heard it for the first time, I immediately I heard his passion through those records, and I was like, dude, I spun to that CD for so long, and started to see their shows, and like 20, 30 shows later throughout, over a decade. And when he finally came on with Destroy, and he was so supportive, and I was just like, man, like, the kid in me somebody couldn't have told the kid in me, like, hey man, you love this band now, like, you're gonna release like this tee with this guy later on, you're gonna like help people and like do this thing. And I'm like, it happened. And we told this story the other night, and it was this kid who like dropped an Instagram comment like, man, I got your like Yasad Williams signature tee, I would love a Matt signature tee. It's a comment on Instagram. I had sent Matt gear all the time, man. So much gear. His mom loves to wear our gear and advertises it like hard, heavy.
Yeah.
Like, man, like just I can't appreciate the support enough. But this kid drops a comment and is like, man, I would love a Matt T. And I respond back and I'm like, hey, Matt, what do you think? He's like, let's do it. And I'm like, wow, no, what? Like, what do you mean, man? Comes through, we talk about it, you know, put it all together, and we do a bunch of one-off stuff that we've never done before with him. To find that organization, though, like I think that was what was super important to me.
That's amazing, man.
You know,
that's amazing.
I didn't know that it existed, too.
And that's the thing. There's so many great people, organizations that are doing stuff for the communities out there, and I love the fact that so many people go back to their communities and give back to their music programs, their high schools, their middle schools, and teach, educate, you know, give their time to. It's amazing. When we were living in Northern California, my wife was working with a theater group that would bring a complete theater program, package everything to schools that didn't have one. And it was amazing. And you know, she was doing choreography at the time, and she was doing like 5 different programs at once, just running all over and doing kids music theater. And it was just incredible seeing what this program was doing for the Bay Area. And you know, there can never be enough. There can never be enough of it, and it's awesome that there's still people who are so committed to it, because it is so important to the development of, you know, these incredible kids, these incredible talented people who are going to be a doctor or a lawyer or a band director.
Right, and you never know where that music's going to take him. And I'm going to pass this to Chris, because with his teaching ability, like I can play, like I love to play. I've had people ask me like, hey, can you teach my kids? And I'm just like, I'm not a good instructor. I do the thing and I know how to do the thing, but like putting it on paper or just like grabbing your hands and showing you, it's just like I don't know how to demonstrate or
Sure.
you know.
Sure.
But Chris, like he shared the thing where, you know, he's not doing that anymore and he's trying to teach out of his own place. Like as an instructor, as a player, as somebody that understands fundamentals, like yeah, he can play, like Chris can play, but it's that approach of like he says this a lot, like I started this fill on the floor, Tom, for a reason. I didn't start it on the rack. And the kids will go, it's the same thing. And he's like, no, like, listen, like, understand the flow.
So if you're approaching that, and you've got like letter A is a certain vocabulary in your drumming language, and letter B is, how do you go about approaching that with different students? Like, hey man, like here's a conversation. Here's how you get these building blocks to be able to play, you know, the chops or the groove you want.
So with me, like where I come from as an educator was from the drum corps world. So I worked with a lot of drum lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I love it. I love the rudimental world. Like I still have such a deep passion for it. And I love going watching these high school lines and seeing what these kids, but I'm actually going, what's it, Thursday? I'm going on Saturday to go watch a WGI show in town.
Killing.
There's a WGI show here.
Winter Guard stuff.
Yeah, up in Lebanon, Tennessee. Right from here, probably 35 minutes.
Damn.
Music City Mystique's going to be there. I was just
I know them.
Yeah, I was rapping with one of their instructors actually just over at Forks Drum Shop just a little bit ago about it. And I'm super pumped about it. I can't wait to go see it because I love that activity, man. I love seeing what these kids can do. And so my approach to working with those kids is, you know, first you got to get them to be able to play the stuff.
Yeah.
And then you got to get them to play together balanced.
Yeah, man.
And then you got to get them to play it with passion and intent. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's, you know, because it's rudimental and because there's not like when you're playing on drum set, you have the ability to express yourself the way you feel the music.
Correct.
When you're in a drum line, you have to play the beats.
Yeah.
Right? They're written out for you,
that
right?
paper is what you need. Yep.
So it's giving them the building blocks necessary to execute it, balanced and uniformed and controlled, but understanding like, you know, these have to be at this height.
Yeah, man.
So this can speak.
Yes.
Right? So if you keep these notes down and that one comes up, what that does with the ensemble is X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But if these notes are this big, then that big note doesn't stand out anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
And from up front, from an ensemble perspective, that conversation piece between the mellophone or between the front ensemble and the drum line
Yep.
doesn't translate. And now
Yes.
now we're losing that.
Yeah.
And so you always have to kind of zoom out and big picture and understand like dynamics and how important it is to play low, but not play low and weak, but play low and intent with
Yes.
some power behind it.
Yeah, man.
Because those little notes are also just as important as the big
Yes.
ones.
Yeah.
And I think from the rudimental standpoint, trying to get that across is the big one. And trying to get the kids the chops to do it. I mean, that's a whole other thing, you know, of sitting down and like, all right, cool. Here's your paradiddle. Now here's how you put a flam on the first note of the paradiddle. All right, cool. Now we're gonna do this and teaching them that vocabulary a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And showing them like, because that's the other favorite thing about drumming, especially like the rudimental side of things, is you can just keep stacking rudiments and keep stacking rudiments and just like have this insane vocabulary of rudiments. And once you're out of the activity and it's you in a practice pad or you in a snare drum or whatever, and it's like, oh, cool, now I can take all of that vocabulary that I have and just do whatever the heck I want. And if you get opportunity to sit down and put it on a drum kit, if you have that ability to, you know, separate hand and foot, not just mark time, which was always kind of my struggle when I sat down behind a kit, was like my feet do this
Dutting,
all day
dutting.
long.
It's
Right?
ingrained in your brain.
Dut for life.
But yeah, dude. And so like trying to like, oh, that's an instrument now. How does this work? You know, like,
man.
that was always my struggle when I first started playing drum kit. But like now that I have that vocabulary ingrained in my hands, I have a different approach to the kit. You know, I can play just a real fast, soft, low roll on the snare drum and have some power behind it, even though it's only this high.
Yeah.
And then, you know, bring my singles up and come around the toms real quick. You know? So,
I
it's
call that like that kind of like having so much control over your instrument to be able to speak what you want to speak when you want to speak it.
That's it. That's it. Say whatever you want to say. And funny enough, dude, a lot of the drum set guys that I come across and get the opportunity to hang out with on tours or at events, PASIC, NAMs, whatever, it's amazing how many drum set dudes all come up and say, man, I wish I would have marched when I had the chance when I was in high school. I had a chance to do drum corps and I never did it, and man, I regret it. I hear that comment more times than any other comment. And a lot of those guys are just like, I just don't have that control. Like, I can play incredible grooves and all this stuff, but I don't have the control over the sticks to do those things. And that's, you know, when you look at the drummers who did march, like, for instance, I'll throw his name out again, Ray. Ray's a guy who did drumline, was a, you know, snare drummer and all that stuff. And when you watch him play, he has that finesse and control over the sticks to do all the wild stuff that he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think having a rudimental background is key to having a much more developed vocabulary on the kit.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
And I think that's really, I wish we would have had that conversation with Richie too, because
oh, dude, he's another one, man. His hands are insane.
It's phenomenal. And that was the thing about that conversation that I really loved, was he was speaking with passion on a lot of those things. You could tell, like, he just loves talking about it. Like,
oh yeah,
he could talk drums for 3 days straight and never run out of a breath of air.
Oh yeah,
he loves it, and he lives it, and he speaks it very well. And I think I've come to appreciate that about him after talking with him, because for so long, like, I would see the call outs and the things he was very passionate about online, and I was like, man, I would just love to just hear that.
I would love to see Richie at like a PASIC event, man. That guy has so much information, like good, solid, like, information to share with the world about drumming. Like, if you don't follow him on social media, you have to go follow him. You have to go watch his videos, because he's so much more than what you see him play with Arch Echo, right? That guy, not only can he do it, but he has the ability to break it down and explain it and demonstrate it. And that's it's one thing to do, but it's another thing to break it down to the root and expand upon it. And he's incredible at that, and has so much to say and so much to share. That guy needs to be featured at these events, you know. And I'm sure it's coming in his career. I feel like he's right there
Yep.
of accomplishing, you know, making it to that point. Because he's a wealth of knowledge, man. He's a wealth of knowledge, incredible talent, and incredible ability.
Yeah, I think what I really picked up on, and wish we had more time to talk about, was just his discipline in life.
Oh yeah,
You know, just his normal day to day, and we didn't even get into that. It was such a like a, I don't know, a good hang, and uh, a holler of laughter. You know, we just could not stop. Squirrel, just
100%.
You know, and I was like, dang it, man. Like, I didn't say dang it, but I was like, man, we are going off the rails here. We don't have just a order of operations, and we don't need that. You know, that's not what we do here at this podcast. But it was always just like, man, like there is some depth here to Richie that I really want to get to, and we kind of did at the end. I loved that last question and how
Yeah.
he signed off, but the the discipline side of things, right? You talk a lot about how even when you come from that discipline of marching, and you understand the fundamentals, and you can get that power just out of the smallest stick height, you know, I think marching for me just showed me a lot of discipline. It gave me that ability to instill. And, you know, showing up at like 5, 6 a.m. every day will do something to you.
Getting your butt
Yeah.
kicked out in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carrying, you know, 50 pounds of drums all day long.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
teaches you how to work hard.
Right. And you mentioned like the Mystic City.
Oh, Music City Mystique.
Music City Mystique, yeah. So way back in the day, I think this was like the 2016, 2017 era, they had like a skull. I don't know if you remember this at all, but they had like a skull set up, like masks and all of that.
Yeah,
like,
and they all shaved their heads. And
yes.
Dude, we were literally talking about that show right down the street. So Forks Drum Closet.
Yeah.
One of their instructors is over there. And
Shout out Forks, man. Good people, bro.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan,
Hands down.
everybody.
Dan.
But yeah, we were literally rapping. We brought up that show because man, that one still resonates with me. It's just such a powerful.
Same.
Those kids were just monsters.
Yes.
Like each one of them on their own, just incredible players. And when they were all out there, it was like a force.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Just insane.
I remember it's still up. You can go back to the Archives of Destroy's Instagram, and you'll find that video that I reposted of them back in the day, because it was, I know what it is to march, like maybe not at a high level as that, but when I saw it, I knew what I was seeing.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, dude, this is unreal, man. Like,
Yeah, these kids are insane, man. And like when you sit back and watch these shows, right? When you're watching DCI World Championships,
yeah.
and you know you're at Lucas Oil, and the
Yeah.
place is packed, and you're watching. You have to remind yourself that like these kids are like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Like that's the cutoff, I believe, is 22, 21, 22. Like they're kids, right? These aren't like, you know, people who've been doing this for 20, 30. No, like these kids are like high school and college and just getting into college. And they're just executing at such a level that you're just like, you're just at a loss for words of like, how are you guys even doing this?
Yeah. And I feel like you've seen a lot throughout the years, like when you talk about like the drumline life, and you have those marching elements, and then you go out and you see different events, and you see the Weckels and, you know, all of these people like playing at such a high level. How do you feel when you see these levels of performers out there, and like you go back home and you kind of digest it, right? Like you kind of go looking back at the film of these WGI moments, and I can't imagine. I want to go one day, but being out there in the lot and like actually hearing it and getting hit in the chest with it.
Oh, it's
like,
unlike anything else.
Yeah, I want that, like, because I describe that feeling. Like, what is that? What is that
Man,
like?
Anytime I'm at like one of those events and I hear the metronome in the distance, let me back up. I think it was ESPN did a really cool thing where they came out and wired up a quad drummer
Oh,
and recorded all the biometrics during the performance and everything like that. And he made an interesting comment, and he goes, "We were on the sideline and we were still hooking you up and everything like that, and you were just putting up the drums, but you know, we were over here. Metronome started and they kicked off, and your heart rate shot through the roof, and you were just standing still." Like your body is
Yeah.
trained that
Yep.
like,
Yep.
yo, it's go time.
Yeah.
On.
And your body flips that switch so you have what you need to do to execute. And I still get that feeling. I still get that adrenaline rush of like, oh my God, here it is. Like we're like, boop, 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 boop. Like, all
Yeah.
right, cool, we're going. And God, I'm what, 43, 44, something like that now. And so I've been away from it for a long time.
Right.
But you still have that passion and the feeling, even in the parking lot watching it or sitting in the grandstands. It's still there. And I still get that excitement. And I absolutely love it and can't wait to see more of it. And when you watch it online, you're like, wow, this is crazy. These kids are playing a ton of notes. Like, this is insane. It's blowing my mind. When you're in person and you have a drum line with, 5 bass drums, 10 snare drums, 5 tenor drummers, and they all go wham at the same time, the concussion of the
Yeah,
air
dude.
hitting
Yes.
your body is unlike anything else out there. It's just, it's insane. It is so unique that if you haven't done it, you have to go see a DCI or a WGI show because it will change your perspective of that activity completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's magical.
There's just a different level of respect. I feel like there's when you hit that caliber and you make it to that show and you're out there in Lucas Oil and it's the same. I feel like it's that. I don't know if it's the same feeling. I'd have to talk to somebody about that, but it's like that same feeling of walking up to like a sold out show and you're just like, all right, it's on.
Well, it's funny. So, talking from an audience perspective and then talking about it from a member perspective, even still to this day, am a nervous wreck before every show. And I'll never forget, my last show walking on to the field finals and getting ready to do our on-field warm-up and doing this. Like, God, my hands are sweating.
Yeah.
Here we go. And then, the anxiety and the buildup of like, all right, we're about to do this. And then you get the 1, 2, and then you're in. Boom. And then next thing you know, you're walking off the field and you're just like, what happened?
Yeah.
You have you completely just go into autopilot and you execute your performance. And even still now today, like before the show, like I pace back and forth because now I'm like, the position that I am now as a tech, I'm sitting there thinking about anything and everything that's going to break on me. And, oh, shoot, where did I put that? Where's my spare? Do I have this? What am I going to do if this breaks today? Did I change that kick head soon enough? Should I have done it today? God, I hope the bass drum head doesn't break on me. Where's my patch? Do I have a patch? And, I just sit there, pace back and forth, and I'm just waiting for, what's it going to be today?
Yeah.
And then, the artist comes up, we do our thing, get them up on the kit, and it's like, all right, you ready? Here we go. Boom. And next thing you know, it's loadout.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, same sort of thing. You blast
Go,
through
go,
that
go,
whole
go,
show
go.
and,
Yep.
and then it's over. And you don't see the audience or you feel them, just like you do when you're on the field, you feel the audience, but it all goes by so quick. And next thing you know, you're throwing it back in the truck and the show's over and you're off to the next city to do it again. And it's amazing. I love that rush. I love being in that environment. It's just amazing.
I think that I relate to that too because when I went on that tour and it was the biggest tour of my life and biggest shows and all that thing and just loading, I had fun loading in. I had fun just every moment of it. I couldn't get enough of it. It was an empty theater or empty hall, and just that beautiful sound of just coming full force like shotgun style on that snare and just letting it echo, and you're just like, man, like. For me, it made me love my drums so much more, take care of them a lot better. But then I would film the sound checks for that reason. Like I wanted to hear it. I wanted to just get a really good balance in the theater and see where I was going to film for the night. And then when I would film the show, and the audience was there, and there's not much air moving.
It's a whole new sound.
Yeah. And but still, like I was talking about earlier, like tuning and all of that, I began to just really understand like the tuning side of things. I was like, wow, like, okay, this sounded like this whenever nobody was in here. This sounds like this when people are in here. Mics are on and all that kind of thing. But I just love the idea of kind of setting up for a show, getting ready for something that you have no idea how it's going to turn out. Like, if you're on that night. If you're not, well, you're not. And it doesn't matter, man. Like I can say, even playing in Chicago, like Thalia Hall. Have you ever been there? You ever been to Thalia Hall?
I
Probably.
couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, it's an old like 1800s venue in
Okay.
Chicago, and we had played.
My wife's gonna be mad. She's from Chicago, so I'm gonna
great.
catch you. I can't believe you didn't know. You've been there like 17 times.
It's a phenomenal piece of architecture.
Sure.
And going in there, loading in, I mean, dude, talk about looking at the walls and the floor and everything around you, and you're just like, dude.
The history in some of these venues, man. I started doing a thing 2023. I started doing this thing where after loadout, after the stage is empty, it's all dark, nothing there, going back out on the stage and taking photos, from, my seat where I was sitting, basically upstage center, dead center, and just getting these cool shots of these venues because there's so many of them that just have so much history. Just incredible places, and it's insane to, like, you feel special because you're a part of this massive production, and you come in and you have this amazing hour and a half, 2 hour interaction with this group of people in this place, and you're like, that's incredible. But to step back and think that, like, that happens on a regular basis every year, multiple times a week, and like that place just holds so much energy, and they're just such special places,
Yeah, I really feel that, and I'll ask you the venue here in a second, like where you have felt that the strongest. Because for me, it was the last show of the tour, and we were at the Texas Theater in Dallas, and I remember after the show, everybody was gone. Loadout had happened. It was completely empty. I was the only one in the theater at that point, and I go into like the middle area, and it's just me there, and I go into the middle section of the seats, and I sit down in there, and I just have a moment where I'm just like, man, like 2 hours ago, dude, like we were ripping the best show of our lives, like in this building, and the energy was unreal, like best show I've ever played in my life. And I sat there and just had a really, really deep emotional moment, thinking like, man, like, was the person sitting in this seat like having a good time? Like, what did they think of it? And then getting up and like having to collect myself and like leaving, and then people that are still out there, they're like, dude, like the show and like this and that, and I'm just like, I didn't even have it together at that point. I was just like, thanks, man, like, it was cool and whatever, but it's just one of those moments, right? Like, have you ever kind of gone out there and like sat in the empty seat?
All the time. Like, I like getting as far back in the arenas, far high up as I can get, far back, and just getting pictures of load-in and stuff like that. I got a really awesome shot of out in Tampa Bay at the arena there. It's fun to do, because a lot of times you're waiting for the rest of the production to get up so then you can take over the stage and everything like that. So there's some downtime and some walking around to do, and you get to experience these incredible facilities and walk around and see what the fans doing and what they get to see, because like I know what it's like at my home venue when I go to see a concert, what it's like to walk through there, but I only ever see when we're on tour backstage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I know where the bus is, I know where the loading dock is on the stage, and catering.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's where you live. That's your environment.
Yep.
So I do love going out and checking out, what the venue's like, what am I missing? Like, what don't we have at our venue that I wish we did have, sort of thing, whatever. But last year with Korn, we did the stadium in LA, and it was for the anniversary. It was the big anniversary show for those guys. And that was an incredible show. That was one of the most amazing shows I think I've ever been a part of. And I remember show day, all the other bands were loading in and setting up and everything like that, and I took the time to walk all the way out there, all the way to the very top, all the way to the very back, as far as I can possibly get, and just sat out there for like an hour, and just like,
That's cool, man.
like, I'm sitting in someone's seat tonight. Like, this thing has been sold out. Like, it's sold out like so fast.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, this is gonna be somebody's seat tonight. Like, somebody is pumped to be here. The furthest seat possible from the stage.
Yeah.
And they can't, like, they're out in the line right now waiting to get in.
Yeah.
And just sat there and just took it all in. I got some awesome panoramic shots and got some cool videos of just chilling there, watching other bands sound check and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then it was cool come showtime to get everything in place. And then when the curtain dropped, it's like go time. And I'm looking all the way across the stadium to the other side where I was sitting at and seeing that person just lose their mind.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And that show, man, I mean, we were buzzing for days after that show. The energy was magic. It was one of those incredible shows I'll never forget. I'll never forget that show. It was just absolutely something special.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So we have a segment on the podcast called Out of the Pocket, right?
Okay.
What are some things that you need on the road to keep you going that are not drum related?
That are not okay. Me personally, or
Yes,
like
sir, personally.
what do I need on the road? Man, what do I need on the road? I'm pretty low maintenance on the road. I don't bring a whole lot of crap with me, but I'm gonna shout out Dude Wipes, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Dude Wipes.
Dude, in my bag.
Because I tell you what, you never know when you're on a festival site and it's like the only bathroom is a porta potty and it's not a good time. Or on the flip side, you never know when you're not going to get a shower.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do a quick wipe down and call it a day and keep it moving. So I'm
what you got to do.
I'm gonna shout out Dude Wipes real quick. That's it. That's gonna be
The unofficial sponsor behind the kick.
Yeah, we definitely. Hey, Dude Watch, we need a sponsor for sure. 'Cause we're cranking out a lot of episodes, so if you got it, we need it. Yeah,
It's
dude.
fat.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I think even so to talk about like the out of the pocket segment, like if you were not doing music, what would you choose to be doing?
Man, I'd be lost.
Really?
Honestly, man, it's ingrained in me ever since I was a little kid. In fact, my parents recently moved out here to be closer to their granddaughter. And in the middle of going through her childhood home and packing everything up and moving out here, my mom found my old Harmony guitar. It kind of looks like a ukulele, about yay big or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a gift from, if I'm not mistaken, it was my grandfather, my dad's side. And, he was the one who was bluegrass and all that stuff. And so it was from him. And I still remember as a kid running around just, ripping on this thing. At the time, it was playing along to La Bamba.
Yeah,
Just running
dude.
around, screaming, just
dude.
wailing on this thing. And my mom still had it. And it's, the body's cracked in it now. And it's in horrible shape. But I actually, I love that about it. You know what I mean? And when she moved out, she gave it to me. And so I got to hang it up in my office at home right by, the door. And ever since I was a little kid, man, pots and pans and wooden spoons and that little guitar, music's just a part of me. And I could not live my life without having music involved in my life one way or another.
This episode of Behind the Kick podcast is brought to you by Gator Cases. For the pro drummer who demands more and destroy a drum, fueling the fire with every hit, every stage, every city, every beat that defines who you are. Your gear deserves the same commitment. You give your craft, built for the road, engineered for protection. The Gator Full Kit Case Bundle guards what matters most, your sound. From late night loadouts to early morning flights, its reinforced shell and weather-resistant design move when you do. Precision fit interiors cradle every drum, while impact-proof hardware absorbs the hits the world throws at you. Because reliability isn't a luxury, it's a standard. Trusted by drummers who live on tour, respected by those who refuse to settle, every detail refined, every journey protected. This isn't just a case, it's your commitment built for the road ahead.
All right, guys, it's day 3. We're back. We're finishing up here, and we have the amazing Mark Bennett, and he is just getting into all sorts of knowledge on and off camera, just a phenomenal wealth of knowledge that is hitting all of our lives and impacting all of us individually. So we appreciate you for being here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being on Behind the Kick, dude. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Well, I think we'd like to finish off with one of the segments. I mean, the segments, like We did Out of the Pocket earlier, In the Pocket, Four on the Floor, Welcome to Pain, Character Over Chops, Just a Drummer. Like, do you have a preference? Or
Let's do character over chops.
okay, cool. So what we like to talk about here is like you got people that are out there playing some of the biggest gigs, big names, getting crazy endorsements, right? What we like to have people in here for is to see if the character matches the chops. And we like to talk a lot about how do you develop that kind of character that matches that gig. When you've gone out there and teched, or if you've just been in those situations yourself personally, and you're actually seen what it is for someone to get on that stage, or for you to be on that stage yourself, and you see the glitz and the glamour, you see the wild endorsements, you see the big shows, the wild stages, the amazing production. Like, what does it take to have that character, to match that gig, and to have those chops to be that person?
Man, wow. I think a lot of this, man, is as amazing as it is to have the position with any one of these tours, or working for one of these incredible artists, or to be the artist, whatever it is, to be humble enough to know that just as lucky as you are to have that gig, it could be anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's always somebody in line
Yeah.
that's going to replace you,
Yeah, man.
right? Because, bro, I tune drums,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's another guy who can tune drums right behind me,
Yeah.
Get that boing out of it.
right? Get that boing out of it. You know what I mean? We'll bring that one back. But no, like, for real,
Josh,
there's
put Art's face right here.
boom, there it is. But you know, I'll take it back to marching drum corps. You know, I remember going out and auditioning for Santa Clara Vanguard.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, you never told me
Players.
that story.
Yeah,
That's a mean crew right there, dude.
dude, when you show up and there's 400 guys gunning for 4 or 5 spots,
400.
Yeah.
you know,
there's some-
it's like, you know, you take a step back and you're like, man, am I even worthy enough of being here right now? Like, oh my God, that guy's doing all of this, and that guy's doing this, that, whatever. And then you're going through the process and people are dropping out, whatever. But, you know, and you get the opportunity to make that line, but then you get reminded that, like, just because you made the line doesn't mean, you know, it's not your spot until you march off finals field. Because at any point in time, you know, there's somebody that's going to replace you. And I saw it physically happen in some of the lines that I was in. Whether, you know, it was a horn player or whatever, somebody falls and gets hurt, or, you know, somebody just isn't pushing the envelope as hard as the entire organization. It's like, you know, sorry, next. You know, there's already some, even, okay, look at professional sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always somebody else that's faster, that can throw farther, hit the ball,
Definitely.
whatever. You know what I mean? There's
Definitely.
always somebody else,
Yeah.
right? I think who you are as an individual gets you the position and keeps you in that position more so than the talent, right?
Mhm.
Because out on the road, you could be a complete asshole
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's going to want to work with you,
Yeah.
right? No one's going to want to be on the stage with you. No one's going to want to be on the bus with you because you're on a bus with 12 other people.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, you're on a submarine with 12 people for 18 months. You know what I mean? You got to be able to coexist with everybody.
Yep.
You know, the work day's the work day. The show is an hour and a half. You know what I mean? It's the other 23 hours that earn you the privilege of being out there.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that's it, man. It's like, doesn't matter how big you think you are or how good you think you are and what gig you may be on at the time. Like, if you're an ass, if you know, aren't acting with integrity and representing the organization to the highest, you know, caliber that that organization wants to be represented like, next,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
awesome.
we can
man.
all be replaced
Yeah.
at any time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of the mantra that I try to roll with, you know.
Yeah.
But I've also seen your world. We talked about this with Stefan, because he hasn't built his world like people have guitar world, drum world, wherever they're
Right.
at when they're teching, right?
Right.
I've seen your world, and I've been in there, and you've just kindly enough have introduced me to it, and I can say that, like, from the organization aspect to it and the way that you run it, like, it is your character from beginning to end, like top to bottom, and like that's something that is hard to do consistently, and to have consistency in your life like that, because it's easy to talk it, right? And I think you see that a lot in this game.
Sure.
Very easy to talk it up, very easy to have the resume. It's easy to have the big names behind you, the endorsements, whatever you need. But the number one thing that we're finding always in these talks is like it's that character that keeps you there.
Yeah.
Because so-and-so can play that pocket, that 2/4, whatever it may be, right? Maybe a harder gig, or maybe require a little bit more here or there. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, Primus just had a huge audition.
Yeah.
And had some unreal names in that bucket that they were picking from. And not even to drop any names at all whatsoever, but it's like, I know guys that have a really great gig and they get dropped mid-tour. And it's like, I knew that guy, he could play that gig like no problem. I know that was not a physical ability whatsoever. And if it was a family thing or an emergency, that announcement would have been made.
Sometimes it's just, do you even vibe with the people you're living with?
Right,
Yeah, man.
right.
You know what I mean?
So I guess our last question to you would be, what is the best advice you can give someone as a human being, not even drum speaking?
Best advice, just in general?
Yeah.
From everything you've experienced, from you coming up, really feeling like music is the only thing.
Man,
And
I would say stay humble and love.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Love each other. Love what you do. Be passionate about what you do, and stay humble.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful way to end things here, and it has been one heck of a damn show today.
Man.
We had the whole crew rocking when Richie was in here earlier, and just hearing your take and just having you here. I mean, I know we did not plan the duo Richie and Mark
sir.
thing. That was not planned.
Nope.
I may have said it on camera that we were preparing for it, but that was not planned. And just to have you here and kind of co-join Richie into it, and then get your take on a lot of these individual topics, like, it's very well appreciated, man. Like,
Man, I'm so stoked you guys are out here in Nashville, man.
Thanks, man.
Best of luck to you guys with all of this. I'm so
Thank you.
excited
Thank
for
you.
you guys.
Thank you.
I've loved your company for the longest time, man. I love what you do. I love all the organizations you support, and I wave your guys' flag as much as I can, man.
yeah, we got that hoodie replacement right here, dude.
Oh, man, I've been wearing that. I've been wearing that. That thing's been around the world more times than I can count.
That Destroy Drum hoodie, man, let me tell you, dude, like, the amount of people that are like, dude, I saw this at a corn show, and I'm like, I know who you saw it on. I know exactly where that thing belongs. I know where it goes every single day, man. Like, don't you doubt for a second, man. And I just have to say, like, that it always hits my heart, man. It just always hits me, and that's why I'm like, dude, whatever you guys need, just tell me what the damn thing
Bro,
is.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate the support, and I love what you guys are doing. Don't stop. Keep going, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, on behalf of Behind the Kick, man, we want to say thank you for letting us go behind the kick with you.
Yeah.
Bro, thank you very much, man.
All right, guys, signing off here, day 3.
Mr. Mark Bennett.